Yo, what's going on guys? It's JNTY, also known as Jonty here, and welcome to a new video on my channel. Now this is a different format to what you're normally used to. You're normally used to memes, edits, and all around good videos, and I'm talking like a lot of people watch them. Anyway, what we're going to be doing now is live comment. Well, not even live. This isn't live, Jonty. I'm watching gameplay back. Do you want me to fake it? So I'm just going to run down it? No. What we're going to be doing is just commentaries. I'm just going to be talking to you guys because I think that's the best way I can make videos at the moment, considering editing is like putting pencils in my eyeballs and headbutting a desk about 14 times. So what I want to talk about is something that is very close to me as a person, and has got me into a little bit of trouble over my years of living, which is conspiracy theories. It's a topic that I'm very much into. Now, conspiracy theories are a thing that are very much looked down upon, because if you were to turn around and say the Queen is a lizard, you'd probably get called a conspiracy theorist, which makes sense because no one's a lizard. That would be strange. Calling you out there, David Icke. But then there's other things which you kind of see as conspiracy theories, which are clearly aren't conspiracy theories, yet they're still called it. For example, Epstein. Who really thinks Epstein killed himself? If we really think about it, did Epstein, a man who had some of the most famous people on a private jet, and he was an apparent, well, he's a very bad person, let's just put it that way. Oh, look at that triple. Give me that triple. Thank you very much. Am I going to get a quad? Of course not. That's a conspiracy against me is what that was. He should have died. Wait, do you really think Epstein killed himself? A man who knew literally everything about the top people in the whole of the world and what they were getting up to behind the scenes. He was going to spill beans. As soon as he was arrested, he was spilling beans and he was Adolf. Now that brings me to the conspiracy theory. And it's one that is very much out there, and it's one that, you know, I could probably get done for slander or libel. I think it's still slander because it's spoken. And it's a group that I've been recently following called Qanon. Now, Qanon is an apparent part of the military within America who are closely aligned with Donald Trump. And they basically leak things through a website called 9kun, or 9gag, I believe, which is going on behind the scenes without actually telling us. It's one of those, if you remember Cicada 3301, where it was like all the games you had to play and you had to go around the world. It's kind of like that. But there's some substance to it because it's getting very real. Now, the actual conspiracy theory is that there is a deep state, underworld, underground kind of thing controlled by very, very, very rich and famous people who are trying to throw in or trying to enforce a new world order. And no, I don't mean the group from WWE in 2003 or WCW in the 90s. I mean the new world order, an idea that I don't know if you heard that. That was my freshener going off, and I have just pooed a brick because that really scared me. So the new world order is a idea of one world totalitarian government. That basically means a government that controls everything around the world. Does this sound a little bit like the WHO and the UN? It's starting to sound a bit like the WHO and the UN. So here's what Qanon believe. Qanon believe that there has been a great awakening and that a lot of people around the world are starting to open up to the idea that we are actually in a kind of a wheel of mass control through the media, through vaccinations, through everything. We're being controlled 100%. Now, I'm going to leave in the description a documentary called Out of Shadows. It is absolutely unbelievable. It tells a story of a stuntman who used to work for Hollywood, and it goes into how Hollywood is very much controlled, and when I say very much, basically it's fully controlled by the CIA within America, and how there was a operation called Operation Mockingbird, I believe it was called, and it allowed complete control of Hollywood and all media by the CIA. And a famous quote is something along the lines of, it will be a success when everything the American public relieve. Let me just fix my words, hang on. It will be an amazing success when everything the American public believe is complete disinformation. That was the kind of motto of Operation Mockingbird. And it talks about how the CIA back in the 50s and 60s was very highly controlled by the Nazi Party, because after World War II, American scientists were moved over to the American side, obviously. Nazi scientists were moved over to the American side, which is, I've just got RPG'd, by the way. So yeah, Nazi scientists were moved over to the American sciences and stuff like that. And throughout the 60s and 70s, there was experiments done on, basically not underground, but they weren't as promoted to young Jewish boys, the same as the Nazis were originally doing. And this very closely aligns to something called Operation MK Ultra. Now, MK Ultra was a program by the CIA that pretty much was a way of mind controlling someone. And what they do is they'd sexually, physically, and mentally abuse someone to the point that they become so submissive to the abuse that you could program them. And if you've played Battlefield 1, you'll obviously know about soldiers being given drugs to combat pain. That was all real. Everything that happened real. And in the 50s and 60s, Operation MK Ultra came out, and it was a way of total mind control. Now, if you watch certain things in the media, you'll see that it's very much close or happening in real life. Modern Warfare, for example. What happens in Modern Warfare? A foreign embassy is taken over. What happened in real life in Iran this year? A foreign embassy was taken over. I don't know, it's a bit strange. It is a bit strange. Now, it also speaks about, speaking of that, predictive programming. So, when you turn on the black box in your house, it's called a TV. What's the full name for TV? Tell-a-vision. Tell-a-vision. You're telling a vision to someone. Now, what's the whole point? To entertain. It's to maintain an audience, to grab, reach, and hold them. If you tell a vision that isn't true, but still manages to grip someone, they will believe you. Joseph Goebbels, one of the high members of the Nazi Party, he was Hitler's propagandist, famously said, "If I tell a lie, and I tell a lie extensively enough, eventually it shall become the truth." It was to the lines of that. I don't know if that was the exact quote. I'm not too clued up on my Nazi quotes, I'll be honest. As much as it sounds like I'm not. And those were the words he said. If I tell a lie and I tell them long enough, it'll become the truth. And that's completely right. If you keep saying that Trump said to inject disinfectant, eventually people will go, "Oh, Trump did say to inject disinfectant." If you watch the press conference, in no way does he tell you to inject yourself with disinfectant. He asks his medical practitioner or one of his medical accompanying staff, "Is there a way? Like what we have in a vaccine, we have a disinfectant in vaccine. We have something called ferritinol, or whatever it's called, inside a vaccine. So yes, you are already injecting yourself with a disinfectant." He wasn't telling you to go and get some Mr. Muscle, have a drink of it, and then inject yourself with it like a heroin addict. That's not what he was saying. But because the media is so heavily controlled and very much anti-Trump, if I'm going to put something on the screen now, that's the bloodlines within the media and how controlled it actually is. And this video, I don't know, because I know Susan Wozniak was saying that anything that goes against the WHO is going to get taken down. And I imagine that's from bigger YouTubers, and I've got like 400 subscribers. So if she takes me down, then cheers, Susan. Thank you so much. I've also got to say though, just before this video does end, I love the Clintons, I love the Obamas, and don't kill me, I guess. Don't put me in your body count. Good thing to look up, Clinton body count. But yeah, Outer Shadows, it's absolutely brilliant. I don't think it's directly following the Qanon movement, but it's something I would highly recommend watching. It also talks about like the occult ritualism within Hollywood, and a thing called adrenochrome and Pizzagate. Now, Pizzagate is two things that are very, very, very grim, and I wouldn't want to go into them in full extent. If you want to go into them, that's up to you guys, but I can only warn you that I watched something of someone describing a video called Frazzle Drip, and I couldn't sleep. It was actually grim. Yeah, it's really grim. And it's the way he can't even like talk about himself. It's like an ex-military guy, and he can't talk about himself. So it is very grim. But if it is something you're interested in, look into it. So obviously the video is close to end now. We're almost won the game. So before I do go, look up Qanon, Qanon. Look up Qanon. Look up Pizza Case if you really want to. I'm just gonna leave a little picture now. Look all them things up on Google, and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, I've been JNTY, also known as Jonty, and it has been an absolute pleasure. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Keep washing your hands, keep social distancing, drink plenty of water, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.